The scriptures say that God is the potter and we are the clay. And if you look at the process that clay goes from the time it's forged to the time of it being a utensil or used for its divine task, this will really give you wisdom of the process of a new believer to a mature believer or an honorable believer wherever you go. And you should go all the way, of course, for the glory of God. Clay is first forged from underground. It's embedded in darkness, and the person with the hands, God is the potter, and we're the clay, the person has to dig in the ground and grab out a chunk of clay. That's the start of the process, the forging. And the clay is hard, it's tough, it's hard to mold, and this symbolizes a new believer. It's rough, it's tough, it's in the world, it has a hardened heart, not a heart of flesh. And then the potter who forged the clay will begin to process it. Many believers go through processing, wildernesses. The clay is broken up. The believer is broken up. Pride is pressed down into humility. The clay is pressed down and broken up so it's not hard. There's a filtration process. There's a refining process. There's crushing. There's refining. There's purifying. And when the clay has been processed, now it's in the potter's hand and it's malleable. It's soft. It's working with the Lord. And the potter will begin sculpting it for its divine task, for what it has been called to do and what the Creator had in its imagination. It will begin sculpting it and taking out the rough patches, taking off the rough edges, which this could be outbursts of wrath, the works of the flesh, or things that are not in harmony with God. And the potter will begin to chisel those things away and soften it. And this could look like not having the fruits of the Spirit, and a softening where you begin to have the fruits of the Spirit and learn the ways of God. And then when the potter has sculpted the clay, got rid of all the rough edges and smoothed it out, the potter will add water to it. It will pour into it. The body, believers, people will begin to pour into it so it can be molded, sculpted, and then it's sent off for its task, its purpose. And the scriptures compare us to vessels, right? There is vessels in the house of the Lord. There is vessels of honor, vessels of dishonor, vessels of gold, silver, and it's really depicting on us and choosing God's ways continually, surrendering continually, disciplining continually, and doing what is honorable and proper in the eyes of God, and being malleable as clay so God can transform us and mold us into the image of his Son. And sometimes the potter will set aside a clay drinking glass, or he will go the extra mile and make a gold